Hello, my beautiful people. So, um, I just wanted to give like a little update on like how things have been with me. I don't want to stay too long on the update. I don't want to talk about it for too long. But I wanted to also like my update leads into the whole topic of conversation on my personal thoughts as to why I think we're here. Why are we here? What's the purpose of us being here? A lot of people ask that question. I mean, I think it's a pretty typical question. I think it's something everyone has thought of, no matter who you are or what your beliefs are. I think that everybody's at least several times thought, like, why are we here? What's the purpose? So, so an update on my mom. So my mom has been, her illness has been progressing. She's been losing more weight, and she now has some infection which doesn't even allow her to eat. She feels like she's gotten more sick after the after she had her hysterectomy. She feels like that's when it got worse, like that she's just suddenly got more sick. And I feel like it did too. Her health definitely declined after she had her surgery, which was back in October. Yeah, before Thanksgiving. It was in like the end of October. My mom had her full hysterectomy, and so she had her last two rounds of chemo, because the chemo at first was actually working until she got the surgery, and then all these issues started coming. And so she just finished her last two rounds of chemo, and basically the update on that was that it didn't really work. For whatever reason, it worked a little bit, but not the way they wanted it to or was expecting it to. She just ended up growing more tumors, and so she's stage 4. Like, she was diagnosed as stage 4. um but basically they're gonna start her on something else. They're gonna start her on taking, I think, immunotherapy or something like that. They're gonna see how that works. And hold on, I'm trying to see something on my phone. Yeah, they're gonna see how that works. And they're gonna see if it like shrinks anything, and stuff like that. That's basically what I was told. I spoke to her last night. I spoke to her, see how she was doing, and to see like how she's feeling emotionally and stuff like that. She doesn't want me to give up. She doesn't want me to give up on my hope for her. She did tell me that things are not going to be the same because she is basically stage 4. Like, I did not know this until yesterday, but like when you're in stage 4, there's not really, they say, I believe it happened, but they say that there's not really like any remission. So I don't know. I don't know. But basically she would have to, they could, at this point they're just trying to prolong the amount of years she has that she can live, and she'll always have to take medicines and stuff. Now, I don't want to keep talking about this because I don't want to get sad and all emotional and stuff. But because I'm feeling in a good mood. I have been feeling pretty happy. I've been feeling good energy, and it's just because I feel like all the negative energy just makes the situations worse. So I feel like I need to be positive. But I don't really like how doctors are treating this thing. Like, I think that when it comes to diseases like cancer, especially, because my mom takes so much medicine. Like, every time she has a new problem come up, they give her more medicine, and then she gets side effects from that. And then, okay, here's the medicine for these side effects, but then that comes with side effects too. And then the chemo she has is a very aggressive chemo because she has a very aggressive cancer. So basically they're giving her all this bullshit, and I just feel like I honestly think there's natural ways. So I've been trying to learn these natural ways that we could heal ourselves. I have heard of people who healed themselves naturally, uh, without all the medicines. Because let's be honest, these doctors, like big pharma, we all know about it. It's not a secret. They just want the money. And she did express that she was feeling some uncomfortable feelings in her stomach that was making her lose weight into where she barely could eat. But she said that they kept on just shoving it off as like, oh no, it's just this, it's just because of surgery. And then finally she ended up in the hospital for dehydration. And that's when they decided to run tests and saw, yeah, you have an infection, which only makes it worse because with chemo alone, you can't eat, you know? I'm sorry, I'm going on about this too much. I'm just like, that really pissed me off. That really, really got me so angry. But it's crazy how you learn a lot through different situations in life and just like in different ways. You really do learn a lot about a lot of things once you open up your mind and stop confining yourself to one thing, thinking that you're not gonna, you know, like thinking that there's nothing else. Like there's nothing else. You're not gonna learn nothing else. Like there's so many things to learn in life and in the world. There's a lot of things that we don't know about. But anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much it on my mom. So please do send your thoughts and prayers and your good love and support. Because honestly, at this point, I feel like if I could just have her for like a couple more years, I would really appreciate that. You know, like I would love to have her until I'm old, but like if I could even have her for like, I don't know, I mean, at least can I have her like 10 years, you know? Like I'm just saying, like, I want my mom here for a long time, even if this is something that she's gonna have to battle with. And, you know, as long as she takes breaks, because I know once you get too tired, people just give up on life. And I could see why, you know, she can't even walk anymore at this point. But yeah, that's pretty much where I am. I kind of feel like I'm living a nightmare. I feel like I'm living a nightmare with this whole situation because like I'm not feeling depressed anymore. I've been able to combat my depression. My anxiety is still there. It comes and goes. It's like in waves, but it depends. Like it's not as bad. I have been feeling a lot more positive and hopeful and feeling like this really good feeling about my life. And I've been having a lot of dreams that have been telling me a lot of different stuff, and a lot of it's like good stuff. But then still when it comes to my mom, you know, like I've been having weird dreams with that too. And I just I don't know. Like I'm just not, I don't want her to go anywhere. You know, I don't want her to go. But it's weird. It's like I feel like I have to be positive for her. I feel like I have to be positive. I have to be strong for her, and she wants me to be. So it's like the universe has been telling me, like, Tina, you have to, even when you feel sad, like you have to stay positive. Because sometimes I feel guilty when I'm too happy. I feel guilty, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel guilty when I'm too happy and knowing she's going through what she's going through. But anyway, yeah, so that was basically the update. That's it. I'm done. But that leads me into the topic. So the topic is, why are we here? So as always, I do not know, you know, I don't know everything. I don't have any facts. I don't claim to know everything or have all the facts, but I do believe, you know, that there are things that are true that we really don't know about. And I do believe that there are things out there that we can learn, that some of us learn and some of us never do, and some of us choose not to. Like it just depends on who you are and where you are in your life. And I'm open to learning a lot of things. Like I've learned a lot of crazy, not crazy, but like things that I'm just like, that's insane. Like I would have never, ever thought about that or ever, you know, thought that before. But the stuff that I've learned in different ways, especially since I've left religion and me considering myself to be more spiritual than anything, the stuff that I've learned is really stuff that I never thought I'd learn, but it's stuff that prepared me for my life. Because the way I'm handling the situation with my mom, for instance, is I would handle it so different if I was not the person I am today. I know I would, because when I was a Christian, I was all over the place. Like I would pray and be like, I trust in God, but I still was dealing with a lot of mental health issues that kept getting just passed over as being something of the devil. So I never really got help for it until it got out of control, to where it became physical issue for me. So, you know, like I feel like the way I'm handling things now is different from how I would have handled it before. And it's just because of lessons that I've been learning. And one of those lessons is what I think of is why we're here. I personally think we're here for a human experience. I think that we're here to experience, and I know some people have heard this before, but I really do believe that that's true. And it's not just because it's a trendy thing to say, but I honestly believe it's true. Like we really are here for an experience. We're here to enjoy life. We're here to live, we're here to laugh, to dance, we're here to experience all the different emotions, because as a human, that's what you're experiencing. You're experiencing emotions, and emotions are not just the happy, positive ones. Emotions could also be more emotional in like a more of a sad way or a heartbreaking way. You know, like when a person passes away, we experience that emotion of grief. When we lose our pet, which my sweet Charlie, her 1 year anniversary is coming up since she has gotten her doggy wings. But you know, you lose your pet, you experience an emotion. We're here to experience emotions, but not just emotions. I think we're also here, and not just all emotions, but I think we're also here to experience life too. We're here to experience freedom and happiness. And when we're not feeling freedom and happiness, and when we're not feeling, you know, that we're not feeling that oh God, what the hell's the word? I was just like, it literally left my mind. When we're just not feeling free and happy, let's just say it like that, because what I wanted to say just poof, like disappeared on my brain. But when we're not feeling that, when we're not feeling those emotions, and we're not having those positive experiences, we become more vulnerable to things like depression and anxiety, and we feel confined. Like in my last video, I spoke about why you feel confined when you're a part of religion, and why when you leave you feel so free. And this is what I think it is. I think it's because when you are and again, these are just my opinions, this is nothing against anyone who is religious, because I never want to offend anybody, but I do believe that when you are a part of religion, you kind of can tend to confine yourself to a point where you don't become open to learning things. And if you're not open to learning things, then you're not open to learning lessons, because lessons don't just come from, you know, whatever you think it comes from. Like you can gain lessons outside of your world by just entering someone else's world, entering, you know, someone else's mind, someone else's experience. You then gain, and you gain onto your experience, because you're experiencing something outside of yourself. And that's what I feel like spirituality really is for me. I feel like it's like I'm experiencing something outside of myself, whereas in religion, I didn't really have that. Like I experienced God's love, because I do personally believe in a creator or some God. I did experience that because that was real. But there were other things that I was against, that I didn't agree with. And so I didn't feel free. So I did feel confined. And it's because, like I said before, the purpose of us being here, in my opinion, what I think is to experience life, to have a human experience. And part of that human experience is being open to learning and experiencing freedom. And when we go against that, then we're not happy. Again, that leads into mental health. You know, what happens when you're working a job that you cannot stand, and you're working all these hours, you're hardly getting paid anything, and then you find yourself going through so much stress and depression because now you have no life, and you're living day in and day out, and you just feel like you're in a rat race, and you're just your regular commute every day, the same old routine every day. You gotta you're dying for the weekends, and the weekend comes and it goes in like 2.5 seconds flat, and you're right back to your regular routine. And then you start to question, like, what the hell? Why am I here? And I think it's just that a lot of us don't realize that we really are here for more than just what we were told growing up, you know, in school, you know, at home. Because I mean, school, let's not even go into talking about school. Let's not even go into talking about school. Like the education is so messed up. The things that kids are learning are completely pointless. This is shit that you're not going to know. My kids go crazy because they're very good in school. Like they're very good with staying on top of their work, especially my oldest. And she gets very stressed out. She deals with anxiety. So she's 16. She gets very stressed out. And it's because she really wants to enjoy high school, but the amount of work they give and the shit that they make her do, that sometimes I help her, and I'm like, I don't think I probably would have got my GED. Like, I don't know if I would have made it, because, you know, they did change the curriculum a lot. They've got that new standardized thing. But they're not learning the stuff they should be learning in school. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not learning the important stuff. They're not learning about checks and savings accounts and depositing or investing. They're not learning about credit scores and all these other things that real life teaches you when you're out there and you're like, oh shit, like I didn't know this came with so much. I wasn't prepared for this. They're not learning these things. We have to teach them those things. And so I just feel like when you look at the world around you, you see how there's so many things out there that we could be learning from. And you have to really just dig inside of yourself and decide, like, you know what, if I have questions to something, or if I want to learn something, I'm gonna need to go out there and learn it for myself. And if you go against that, like if you have a naturally curious mind and you're somebody who is curious, you're somebody who wants to learn, you're somebody who loves to meet new people, you like to explore, you don't like to stay confined and stuck, you like to do your thing, which is how my personality is. You're more free spirited. If you're in religion, a lot of times people who are in religion who struggle are people who are like that, people who are naturally really free spirited beings who just want to learn, want to explore, want to do different things. You know, they want to live life a little. And so when they become a part of religion, like let's say Christianity, since that's my background, when they become a part of Christianity, and this isn't all people, but I'm speaking about the people who struggle in religion and who feel like they want to leave, they're basically going against their natural self. Like, I mean, if we were not meant to be curious, if we were not meant to be people who want to go out there and learn about the world, and not saying you can't do these things as a Christian, but as a Christian, you're confined in many ways. You know, it's like, no, you have to do this for God and that for God. So when you start to feel so confined, like, damn, I really want to do that, or I really want to learn that, but that would be considered sinful. You know, you just feel so confined because you're not living your life the way that you really were meant to live. And that's just my opinion. I just really feel like we are not living our life the way we were meant to live it. And there would be no point in us even having talents and gifts and all of that if sorry, I got thrown off. My daughter, like, my thing went off to show me that she's in the area. I have a tracking device on her. But, you know, like, there will be no point in us having all of these different gifts if we're not going to be able to use them the way that we feel free to use them. I mean, the whole point is to be happy. That's the reason why you go to work every day, Monday through Friday, and then you're lucky because you've got 2 measly days, which somehow seem to swoosh on by. It's like, what the hell? I can't Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday swoosh on by like that. Like, why is it always gotta be the weekends to go so fast? And then it sucks, and then you're unhappy because you're really not doing what you want. So for people who choose to leave religion, they feel stuck and they feel unhappy because maybe they're not living the life that they want to live the way they want to live it. Maybe they feel kind of confined. I mean, for me, I always felt confined because I always felt like I had a relationship with someone, but I didn't like the fact that everybody else had to be a part of that relationship with me. Like, I just did not like that so many people felt entitled all the time. No matter what church I went to, it was always those small group of people or a big group of people who always feel like they have a right to just chime on in and tell you what to do all the time or what to read. And I just didn't like it, you know. Shh, quiet. I didn't want to hang out with just a bunch of Christians. I wanted to be free to have my own friends. So for me, it was that, but everyone's experience is different. Also depends on the type of church you go to. A couple of churches I went to were toxic, not even just one, but several churches I went to were toxic and controlling in their own ways. But I'm sorry, my dog, it's like every time I turn on the camera, he wants my attention. I'm sorry. Let me mute for 1 second. Hold on. All right, my bad. I had to let him out the terrace because he drives me nuts. But yeah, you know, what was I saying? Shit, he completely threw me off. Anyway, back to just talking about why I think we're here. So yeah, that's really what I honestly believe. I really do believe that we have a reason. We're here for a reason. We have a purpose. And I think that if we just like started to really live it, then we would start to have more clarity as to why. I also don't think we necessarily need to know everything. Like, do we really need to know everything? Do we have to know why to everything? No, let's just enjoy the experience. Let's just enjoy it. I know these past couple years have been kind of tougher, or very tough for a lot of people. And it's been kind of difficult to even enjoy because every time you try to be happy, you turn around and this thing is spreading and it's new, and now this person passed away, or this person's diagnosed, or maybe it's you. You know, it's like everybody's getting sick. Everyone is just, you know, emotionally falling apart. People are having a really difficult time when it comes to their family, when it comes to their finances, which we just went through. And thankfully, you know, that for me changed that, like, thankfully, because it was really bad. It was like, really bad, and it was just on top of everything already, to the point where I was even questioning, like, why am I really, like, I really did at one point start to question, like, what is the real purpose of me being here? But then I had to remind myself, of course I have a purpose. We all have a purpose. I've never doubted that at all. But in the midst of you going through all these things, financial, emotional stress, physical ailments, situations like mine with my mom being sick, like things that are real depressing, things that really suck, you always are gonna be able to find a way back to yourself. Like, you may lose yourself for a moment, but you'll be able to find a way back to yourself. And I feel like that's what I've been doing. I feel like in the midst of all of this chaos, I have been slowly finding my way back to myself. It's taking time. I consider it the recovery phase. Because when you go through a lot of traumatic experiences all in one, it really messes with your mental, not even just emotionally, but it really does mess up your mental. So you have to kind of go through that moment where you could just recover. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing. But also, on a good note, this year does feel very different for me. I've been feeling like that since start. Like, I had a really bad emotional breakdown earlier in the year, because then I started to question if this year was even going to be any different. And I told myself, like, I refuse for this year not to be any different. I refuse for this year to be depressing and for me to be going through depression or to be dealing with a bunch of anxiety. I just refuse to repeat another 2020 and 2021. So after I said that to myself, literally like days later, I got offered a job, and it was like really good, because the person I'm working for has so much pull, and it's just a really good job. Like, I'm very blessed. I don't want to speak too much on my job just yet. I'm waiting a little bit, so I'm not saying too much. But between like the money and the flexibility of it, and the fact that, like, he's super cool. Like, I mean, the people are super cool. It's a different type of environment. He's very understanding. I just feel like I was blessed by the universe, because I do feel like, and I'm sorry if I sound like I'm moving around a lot. I actually got to plug in my laptop. But I really do feel like the universe blessed me, because I said what I wanted, and I said what I wasn't going to do. I said what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to repeat the same lousy year that I had last year. Like, we're just not doing that. But sorry, I'm plugging in my laptop. All right. It's plugged in. But so that's what I told myself. So I ended up getting offered this job, and then everything worked out, and he's been training me on different things. And wait, hold on. Sorry. Close the door. My daughter just came in from school, so I'm about to wrap this up. But yeah. I feel like my point is, I feel like it's universal. Sometimes, like, if you ask for something, if you ask for anything, and you put it out there, like, don't even think about how is it gonna happen, how is this gonna happen for me, like, who's gonna make this even possible for me. I can't imagine that. Like, don't think about that, because that's not our business. It's not our business to know how. Our business is only to say, this is what we're doing. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is what's gonna happen. Period. Point blank. So that was basically what I did. And that's why I feel like from jump, I was like, 2022 is going to be different. I'm not doing it this year. Nope. I'm not doing it. And so that's how I just refuse. And I think that that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, even though we know we're going to go through moments, we're going to lose people, losing your parents, like, I lost my dad when I was 18, and that was my first and most hardest grief I ever had to get through. That was very difficult for me. And then last year I lost my grandmother. So losing your family or anyone you're close to and love in general is always going to be hard. Like, that's never going to not be hard. But that doesn't mean that we don't have a reason to be here. We just have to know when to go through the grieving process, or go through the hurt of learning some really bad news, about something or someone, and find a way through. I mean, it's easier said than done, but it could definitely be done. we kind of have to think of it as, oh, I have no choice. I have to get through this. I have to get through this anyway. I have no choice but to get through it. So you just take your time. Don't force your way through, but just take your time and keep repeating positivity to yourself. I don't know how I decided to become Dr. Phil all of a sudden, but for some reason, I just felt like saying that, because you never know who hears you, and sometimes we go through stuff and we don't speak on it, but it feels good to hear somebody else speaking on it, because then you're like, oh snap, I've been going through that same thing, and I had no idea. Like I didn't know that I was not the only one who goes through that, you know. So that's how I see it. But yeah, keep on pushing through, keep on trying, keep on striving. I'm gonna keep on doing the same. I'll keep you guys updated on how my mom is doing. Again, please, good positive thoughts would definitely be very appreciated from my mom right now. And my other prayer, besides the fact that I really, really hope that she can stay here with me for several years more, besides that, like, my other hope is that when she is ready to let go, you know, and it's time for her to let go, that I'm ready to let go for her too, because she's not going to be out there alone. I do believe that there is another life after this. It's just that the unknown is scary for us because we've never experienced it. But I do believe there's another life after this, and that helps me when it comes to my mom. And again, like, I don't know if you guys ever seen my I'm sorry, like, I feel like I got something in my throat. I don't know if you guys ever seen my my past videos. I spoke probably did like 2 videos where I spoke about psychedelics, but my psychedelic experiences that I have had is what actually got me to think like this. It's like is what actually got me to not really fear death, because I used to always kind of low-key have a little fear of death, because I mean, who wants to die? You know, you want to experience life because we think this is the best thing there is. So I mean, most of us do. We think when you die, that's it, and then this is it. This is the most fun I'm ever gonna have. I only live once. But I think we actually live more than once. I think we actually do. That's why you meet some people and they feel familiar to you, because you might have known them in the past. So I do feel like there is another place we go after this. And when you do psychedelics, you do have different visions and stuff like that. And it's crazy. Like, you got to read about it to understand what I'm saying. And I'm not talking about anything that could kill you. I'm talking about just like very like straight from the freaking grass, the trees, the bush, whatever the hell they come from. Like, those real things, you know, that's the reason why they keep it from us, is because they don't want us to know that we have more. Like the pineal gland, you know, your third eye, that's a real thing that exists. But it's even in the Bible. And you can access it without psychedelics. The psychedelics will take you straight through. You freaking Venus and Mars. You got a whole home out there. I'm telling you. Like, the stuff that you learn is insane. And that's why I feel like I kind of learned a lot through that, you know. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So thank you for those who did join. And if you're listening to this on the replay, then make sure you leave a comment down below if you do have anything to say. And if you did like this, then do give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you subscribe, then make sure you press the bell, set it to all. That way you'll be notified every single time a new video comes out. And don't forget to go check out my new digital store. I have the link down below for everything, and make sure that you are following me on Instagram, TinaMarie_J. I, for the most part, post daily on there. If you have any questions, you can also send me a private message, and I also do one-on-one calls I actually increased it to like an hour and 45 minutes. So if you want to get in touch with me to do that, it's a one-on-one, just me and you through Zoom. Then you could just check out the link down below. And I hope you enjoy your day, your night, whatever time of day it is.